How do you navigate couples therapy with a narcissist? I look like the jerk if I don't attend. So a lot of times a narcissist wants to try to manipulate and control you in a couple counseling and a couples therapy. So I normally tell people, do not go to couples therapy with a narcissist. Okay, every single time they'll manipulate the situation. They'll make you feel like you're the bad guy, that you're the idiot, that you're the problem. You walk into the therapist's office and you're like, I don't even recognize this person. Like, who am I actually here with? And so many times a narcissist will manipulate and try to confuse the therapist, confuse the situation, and make you think that you're the problem. Make the therapist think that you're the problem. Don't do couples therapy. Okay. When you go, like, you have to only deal like with the facts of the situation. You can't deal with anything else. Narcissists are going to make it all seem like it is all about you. It is all your fault every single time. But they'll switch, like they'll change it and make it feel like they're the good person. Okay. Why is a narcissist hurt his children? Short answer to that is a narcissist doesn't care about his kids. Narcissist doesn't care about you, doesn't care about the situation, doesn't care about the people involved. Narcissist cares about one and one thing only. That is the mask, the version of themselves that they're appearing to society. Okay, so when you're going through a divorce, when you're going through a custody battle with a narcissist, what do they care about? They care about image and money. Two things. That's the only two things the narcissists typically care about. So when it comes to the kids, you're like, but I love the kids so much. That's great. The narcissist doesn't. The narcissist loves their image so much. And that is the difference that you need to be able to understand. Okay. Now, ex-husband raised, why did that cut off my comments? There we go. Ex-husband raised my son from 6 months old and now try to discard to hurt me. Yeah, there's a big piece of that that could just be, I just want to hurt you. I just want to like manipulate you. What's the role of dopamine in trauma bonding? Really good question. A lot of it happens. A lot of times people, when they get away from a toxic relationship and they're actually at peace, okay, like they're not getting physically, mentally, emotionally abused on a daily basis, feel this way. They're like, there's peace, but I don't feel peaceful because of all the adrenaline, all the dopamine, all the oxytocin, all the things that were in that relationship, the like chemical of shit that they actually had to deal with inside that relationship. They're like, wait a second. And you realize that you've slowly been addicted to another person, almost like being addicted to drugs. Very much so. If a narcissist discarded and hoovered multiple times again, are they more likely to hoover again? They're more likely to hoover, period. So the thing you want to do is make sure you block on all accounts and that you continue moving forward in your healing. That's the one thing you have control over. I've got a court hearing on Wednesday for my hearing my husband who have asked. I don't want to see him at the court, and he's hiding things from the car and the bank accounts. Oof, yeah, a lot of times they will hide a lot of different things. A narcissist really did not hoover. Do you think it might be because of the smear campaign? He doesn't want to look like a liar to his flying monkeys. That's part of it, but I've seen a narcissist come back after a smear campaign, after they make you feel like you're the worst person in the world, and then they still get back with you after they've smeared you to a bunch of people. So just please be careful. You never really know. Is it narcissistic to attempt self-unaliving? I wouldn't necessarily put that typically in the narcissism category. That has more of a tendency to be on the BPD, the borderline side. He won't agree to give the children maintenance yet. He wants to see the kids even though they hate him and refuse to see him. He then says, I'm brainwashing the kids against him. Yeah, and you have to be able to continue to pull back and be like he's not going to have access either through custody, like whether you've gone through already custody battles, things like that, or the place of like, hey, I don't want him around my kids because of emotional safety, physical safety. Like there's a lot of different things there. You have to sometimes be the bad guy in his mind because you're protecting the kids. Like that is a big piece of it. How do you know when the narcissist is talking to other women? It's been 4 months since the breakup. At this point, like, why do you want to know? Like, why does it even matter? Like at the end of the day, if you're broken up with this person, we need to work on you. We need to work on your healing, your growth, your change, and not worrying about that. Now that's easier said than done. So I'm not just saying, hey, don't worry about it. Hey, get over it. Like those things don't help you. Okay. What helps you is being able to break the trauma bond and change the story that you're actually believing, because you're believing something, typically a lie about that person, a fantasy about that person that's not actually true. If you're watching right now, you can click the link in the bio, escapetoxicity.com. It's a 7-day challenge for $7 to help you actually understand where you are, understanding what's going on with narcissistic abuse, reactive abuse, the guilt and shame that you're feeling, and to get clarity of how we actually set up and teach you the process of breaking the trauma bond. Until your mindset shifts, until your mindset changes, you'll always go back. You'll always pain shop, okay? Why is sex with a narcissist so much more amazing, intense, and primal That was addictive. A lot of times it's because they know exactly what you want and they'll continue to do it until it no longer serves them anymore. Then they'll go find someone else and you'll still be addicted to that. The thing is, you don't have a real connection. You just have an emotional high with that person because that sex for them is just transactional. Do narcissists go through anything like we do with the trauma bond? No, they don't. The only thing that would be slightly similar would be with a narcissist with a sociopath or a narcissist with a borderline or like something like that, where there would be a little bit of a push and a pull. But a narcissist with you, they're not trauma bonded to you. That would involve them caring or hoping or actually wanting something more than just transactions from you. He's blocked and no worries. We'll find a way to do it again. Yeah, I mean, keep him blocked. Make sure there's not any way to be able to connect with him. Why does mine keep bringing up my mother that passed away to hurt me? I would say yes. I need a little bit more context in that, but I would say it looks like that. My husband acted like he couldn't get a divorce fast enough after I caught him cheating. It's been over a year and still no divorce papers. Yeah, he wanted out, but he didn't actually want the accountability of showing up and actually like having to go through it. I would go ahead and file divorce and push that direction. Why, when a narcissist hates kids, does he say he's going to destroy me and get full custody if I file for divorce? It's a manipulation tactic to try to get you back down and not look bad that he's actually ruined his family and that he's got a divorce, that aspect. I have gray rocks and blocked by narcissists. They're raging now. A lot of times they will. Please be careful. When you engage with gray rock, please be careful. Sometimes it accelerates it even more. Gray rocking, I believe, only works about 50% of the time. Sometimes it gets even worse. Sometimes it makes it actually like go more violent. So please be careful if you're doing gray rock, but figure out what is the safe way to be able to get out of this relationship. Divorcing a narcissist is a lot tougher than normal and hard for people to understand why it's taking so long. 100%. Like divorce with a narcissist is incredibly hard. This is why skip the mediation, go straight to divorce. Unless you're in one of the states or countries where you have to do mediation first, try to get past it as fast as you can because it's only going to waste time. It's only going to prolong the inevitable. Okay. Are narcissists codependent? No, they are not codependent. Codependency, just the phrase codependency came out of different like addiction mantras and addiction stuff. It doesn't stem from actual psychology. And that's what we talk about when we talk about narcissistic personality disorder. Can a narcissist be with another narcissist? Yes, they can be with another narcissist. It'll just be as toxic. Is it the same for covert narcissists, though? I need more context for that question. Covert narcissists and overt are the same type of person, but just masked differently. Okay, like the overt is going to be like raging at you. The covert is going to be passive aggressively doing these little digs and making you feel bad without actually saying that you're bad. Like all these different pieces there. So small little nuances. The underlying component like runs exactly the same. Okay. What financial benefits does he have to stay married on paper? I know that's reason. Yeah, a lot of times it is financial benefits. Like I would rather stay with you, then I get a tax break, then I don't have to pay whatever it's called. Can't even think of it. I won't have to pay for the kids, like all this kind of stuff. We see narcissists that do this because they want to be able to take advantage of you. They're still taking advantage. Go for the divorce, go through, like get it done, like go after it. Okay. He said it was me that was codependent. A lot of times people develop different pieces of codependency with a narcissist because they're looking for validation because that person has already trained you to look for validation. Like if you're at the place where you're like, I think I'm looking for this validation like all the time, check out the link in the bio. Escape toxicity. It helps you actually start to break free from a toxic person to understand you can actually move away from this person mentally and emotionally and not feel trapped. 9 months of no contact. And yesterday, guess what? I guess he contacted you, right? My narcissist found out I moved on and now doesn't want our son. A lot of times that happens. Like the son or the daughter is just a tool. It is a key to your life. When the narcissist is like, this is off the table, what, I can't get back with you? Then they're like, forget that. I don't really care about the kids because they were only a means to an end. Okay. And you'll be able to understand that. Will the court recognize narcissistic behavior without it being diagnosed? No, it will not. Even if it is diagnosed, typically they don't really care. They look more of like physical safety, like physical harm, things like that, than they do psychological stuff. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in currently. It makes so much sense. My kids are in a reunification with narcissist dad and therapist specialist. My question was like reunification therapy with the kids and with the narcissist. Why? Like at the end of the day, is he healed? Is he better? Is he changing? Is he honest? If he's not, then like I would no, like don't push them towards that relationship. I'm trying to figure out like how to tactfully say this without like being like mean, but like you're pushing them towards an abusive person. You might not be, okay, but I'm just from what I'm reading, like please be careful with that. Okay. Let's see. But I think it's better. Let's see. What are the levels of narcissism or what types of narcissism exist? So the typical two ones are like overt and covert, nah, or vulnerable. Like there's grandiose. There's a lot of different like labels for them. And basically, you've got the one that's like the asshole in the middle of the room. And you're like, oh, that's a narcissist, right? And then you have someone who's a little bit more shy, who's on like the vulnerable side of like I'm a little bit more like subdued. And it's not necessarily like everybody has their eyes on this person, but all the drama still goes around this person or stems from this person. Okay. So sometimes there's a lot of nuances. I have like the most information about covert narcissism on my YouTube channel. You can check that out, Raw Motivations. But like a big piece of it is it's exactly the same. It's just differentiated in different ways. Like one will rage at you and one will be more like passive aggressive. Like one will do like these like overt things like calling you names, and one will do like these small things that make you feel like less than, make you feel smaller. Okay.